All right, good afternoon, everyone. We would like to welcome you to our Fall 2020 Higher and Post-Secondary Education Applied Project poster session. Thank you all for being here. First, we'd like to, of course, welcome our presenters and our graduate students who will be sharing with you all shortly about some of the work that they've done over the last 15 weeks, although in many cases for many of our students, this represents a longer engagement with the topic, whether it's through their own professional careers or through practicum experiences. But what this culminating project will give you an opportunity to do is to learn a little bit more about the things that they've been able to research and gather data on and share findings related to critical and timely issues within higher and post-secondary education context. I should have started by saying my name is Kia McGuire. I'm an associate professor in the higher and post-secondary education program. My gender pronouns are he, him, and his. Um, and I would also like to acknowledge the ancestral homelands of the Acme, Atham, and Peepash peoples' lands, which we all are working from and learning on. And so I would like to start by simply sharing a little bit about the program and more importantly, where this project fits within that within students' learning experiences. And then I'll turn it over to my colleague, Dr. McIntyre, who will share a little bit more about the floor of the events for today. Again, our higher and post-secondary education program is an opportunity and a learning experience that's really geared to prepare professionals to work in a variety of contexts on college and university campuses. One of the things that has become a core identity of our program has been the process by which we help and work alongside students as they learn ways to gather data, analyze data, all in the service of improving higher education practice and policy wherever they may be located. And so this applied inquiry or applied project, that poster session that you see here today is a culmination of a 15-week exercise or experience. During the first 7.5 weeks, our students have an opportunity to design a project. Of course, these projects are oftentimes very ambitious, and over our 15 weeks, we are able to pare it down into something that is not only manageable, but that will be impactful with the data that they're able to gather. And then in this session B of the semester, students are able to carry out their research project. And we'll get a little bit towards this at the end of the session today when we give some thank yous, but you should know this represents not only the work of our students and the faculty who are in the classroom, but also a number of mentors who sign up to work with students along and help give feedback on their projects as they're being designed and carried out. So we look forward to you all engaging with our students today, asking them questions, learning about their research, and hopefully having a very invigorating conversation. So at this point, I'll turn it over to Dr. McIntyre, who will say a little bit more about how the rest of the afternoon will be spent.
Thank you. Hi there. My name is Lisa McIntyre. I am an executive director in the University Provost Office at ASU and teach in the Master in Higher Ed program. The applied project is one of my favorite classes because, as Dr. McGuire said, this is about the topics that the students are most interested in. And so I always learn a lot about topics that I maybe don't get exposure to on a regular basis. So I hope all our guests have that same experience. Our students will be presenting in small breakout rooms of 3 to 4 folks. Dr. McGuire is going to put a link in the chat where you can find the Zoom breakout room link for the individual that you're here to support or the breakout room that you're most interested in. They are grouped by topics. We ask that you mute your microphones. You're all doing a great job of that if you're not the one presenting. We will present in order of the link that Dr. McGuire just shared. There will be a facilitator in the room to just kind of make sure all the technical pieces go right. They will be recorded sessions. We also ask that you hold all your questions until all of the presentations in your breakout room are complete. And then we'll open up that session for questions. We do encourage you to ask questions. These folks are experts on this topic and have spent a lot of time and energy becoming experts. And so this is a great opportunity for them to answer any questions that you might have. Once all the presentations in your breakout room are complete, we ask you to come back to this main session room for us to wrap up the program. So with that, Dr. McGuire, anything I missed or you want to add before we break out?
Nope, that's it. And please reach out to us for any questions that you might have. Dr. McIntyre and I will be moving from room to room. I see that I just got a message in the chat asking, can individuals move from room to room? Yes, as long as you're not a presenter. So all of our guests beyond the students are able to again move as you would like to bounce around to hear different topics of conversation and discussion. Um, and so again, at this time, we'll give folks about 5 to 7 minutes to make your way over to your rooms. For our students who are on the call, again, look at the sheet as well so that you can go to the room that you will be in. And yeah, I think that's it for now. So thank you and welcome all again.
Hi, my name is Luis, and I'm going to be presenting on how the absence of multicultural centers affect underrepresented student leaders involved in cultural club organizations, coalitions at Arizona State University West Campus. A bit about myself. I graduated from ASU West Campus in 2018. I formerly worked as the management intern for Changemaker Central at West and currently the management intern for the Office of Student Engagement at West. My interest in this topic is because I'm also a student of color and I have been through similar experience as those students, and I know how hard it can be to feel like you don't belong at your institution. So I really hope that this research definitely helps ease that and helps create a more sense of belonging for students of color for their institutions. So to begin, this study aims to understand the experiences of underrepresented student leaders who are part of a cultural club organization slash coalition and explore the impacts, if any, of not having a multicultural center at Arizona State University. The coalitions led by the Black African Coalition have expressed their dissatisfaction with the ASU about not having multicultural centers, which has led to color blindness in terms of not seeing race as an issue. They feel like having a multicultural center allows them to address racial relations and racism on campus. The purpose of this study is to investigate underrepresented undergrad student leaders who led cultural club organizations at Arizona State University West Campus and understand how they are affected by the lack of multicultural centers through their experience in that leadership role. So, a little bit about the background. Krishnamurti defines the role of multiculturalism as it seeks to promote the valuing of diversity and equal opportunities for all people through an understanding of contributions and perspectives of people of different race, ethnicity, cultures, language, religion, gender, sexual orientation, and physical abilities and disabilities. Multicultural centers aims to help underrepresented students navigate the college system by providing them with the resources they need to help those students build and develop their identities, create a safe, supportive environment, cultivate a sense of belonging, allow civic engagement, and overall prepare those students for an interdependent global society. In regards to developing strong mentorships and peer networks, the outcome for students of color is growth in their cognitive abilities, values, and attitudes to function in a diverse workplace and a pluralistic democracy. Students of color felt overall cultural centers, such as multicultural centers, create retention and satisfaction beyond campus-wide services. The methodology that I use, I conducted a qualitative study and conducted individual interviews using a questionnaire of 11 questions. Due to COVID-19, it was difficult to interview student leaders and had to focus on colleagues and club organization advisors who spoke on their student interaction and experiences. I had a total of 3 participants. This study was conducted at Arizona State University West Campus via Zoom, a virtual platform. Participant filled out content forms the into ahead of time of the interview and were recorded for the purpose of transcribing. Demographic information is left out to keep participants anonymous, and analysis of the data was done through open, Axel, and selective coding. Some trends that I found within our research: uh, student connections and relationships. Uh, when asked about how students are motivated to stay in their role, a lot of the participants mentioned that they care about the people that they work with. They're compassionate about what they do, and they really enjoy building those relationships and networks. And then when asked how they would what would be included in a multicultural center if we had one, this was one of the biggest things, is making sure that these students are able to have people that they're able to relate and connect to. I also found that students really want to be professional developed and utilize the resources that are given to them. So so that's one of the things that they're striving to do when they're going into these club organizations or when they're interacting with faculty or staff, is that they want to make sure that they're getting the most out of what they're doing. They want to make sure that they are able to utilize the resources that the university offers, and most of the times not everything is known to them, but whatever resources the person that they talk to, they take advantage of. Another one is students' passion, expression, and voices. Um, Something that we've seen within at least the West Campus is that these students tend to be very expressive and passionate about what they do. They really enjoy working with others, and they enjoy working with their organizations and making sure that if they see issues or something that they don't agree with that is harming their community or harming the people that they care about, they really want to make a difference, and they really want to express that, and they really want to voice that to the university, and making sure that they find solutions to fix these problems. Aside from that, multicultural centers as a safe space. So one of the things that we're currently lacking is multicultural centers, and currently these students are using different modes to feel safe, but not necessarily feeling that it's a place for them that they can call their own, and they can really feel like this is where they can express themselves, identify with, and make those connections. And so when prompted about what would be included in multicultural centers, a lot of the participant mentioned that making sure that they have a space for them, that they're able to make sure that they have the connections there, and making sure that that space is an area for them where they feel supported, um, and they're able to utilize it to the fullest. And then these two trends go hand in hand. There's a few university issues that have come up. So making sure that so one of the biggest issues was that staff members are busy and they're usually being pulled in different directions, and the student perception of that is that staff doesn't care about them. Another one is making sure that the university is listening to these students, but sometimes that doesn't come across, and so these students feel like they're not being valued, or their voices are not being heard. So some implications for this research is that it can definitely help the ASU West Campus Multicultural Center Committee members by giving them some insight, help them with the creation process of multicultural centers, looking at the background, looking at some of these trends that are coming forth, and pointing out some potential barriers between the university and students when it comes to communication. Um, some limitations of this study was that the time frame for conducting the research was very short. Also, COVID-19 could have impacted the participation of students in this study, and then also the very small sample size that I obtained for this study. So future research should conduct focus groups or interviews with student leaders of color who are part of the cultural club organizations and coalitions. They should obtain more data from university employees and advisors and compare the two in terms of student and employee perspectives. And they should also interview students of color um, that are not in leadership roles. I think when we look at all of that together, we are able to comprehensively come together from a student perspective and employee perspective, and really create a multicultural center that benefits our university and showcase that we care about our students and these students feel safe and supported. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So thank you for that, Jordan. So I have to say, this is my first time participating in a virtual poster session, and that felt like a whirlwind, but in a good way. So thank you all for your presentations. Both Dr. McIntyre and I had an opportunity to hop around from room to room. I'm actually going to stop talking and turn over to Dr. McIntyre, and I'll say a little bit more to close us out at the end.
All right. I just wanted to congratulate all of you. You should be very proud of what you did. I know this semester was like none other. Just like Dr. McGuire, that was my first virtual poster session. And I just want to commend you all on your resilience and determination in making it work. We had all kinds of fun challenges to work through, and we all did it and had great communication. And I think you all, just the potential is limitless for all of you. So I wish you all the best of luck. I hope to hear updates from you all where your careers take you, and um, always here as a resource for you all. So I see all the applause and celebrations going up. It might be a bit much to unmute and do a round of applause, but want to thank all the guests, family members who were able to join us today. That is one of the great things about our virtual opportunity, is that I think we might have been able to expand our audience a bit more. We will be sharing recordings with the students. So if you weren't able to have a guest join us today, please share it with them. There's no way any of us would have made it through this program without all the support of our family and friends. And I also want to thank our colleagues. So every student in this part of the project has access to a professional mentor who's met with them multiple times throughout the semester and giving them feedback and encouragement. And so thank you all for doing that for our students. It really was great to see the feedback and insights, and having that other perspective to bounce ideas around was really helpful and benefited the work. So all right, well, I'll stop gushing. Dr. McGuire, what did you have?
Yeah, so just one more thank you before we move on, which is to Jody and her team, who have handled all the logistical responsibilities for today, is setting up the virtual rooms, making sure all the Zoom links work, and making sure that we have facilitators in each room. So thank you to Jody, Ashley, Pinnock, Liam, Caitlin, for your support and making sure that this program went off without any hiccups. So thank you all very much for making this easy for Dr. McIntyre and myself. I also would just like to echo Dr. McIntyre and thank our mentors. Usually we have like mentors and program instructors like raise their hand. I think there's a reaction to do that. So if you know how to raise your hand or put a thumbs up, maybe if you want to put a thumbs up, how about that? So that we can acknowledge all of our mentors and program faculty who teach and work alongside our students throughout the program. Your support is sincerely and deeply appreciated. As you all know, I think one of the biggest strengths of our program is that we have meaningful and long-lasting relationships with individuals who are educators and scholars working both at ASU, but also across the Valley, and sometimes as well as in other states. And so we appreciate the support that you provide, and the mentorship, and the learning that you, or the way that you help to expand the learning of our students in our program. So thank you very much for that. And most importantly, I want to say congratulations and thank you to our students. I'm sure it cannot go overstated, I think, how unique this semester has been. And you all continue to approach the project and your capstone experience with enthusiasm, with a level of dedication, a level of flexibility and creativity that I think I was just excited to see, and gave me also energy as I entered and worked with you all over the last 7.5 weeks. And so I know very few things feel like it's normal as far as celebrating things in this particular context, but we do hope that you will find time to honor this moment in some way, to reflect back on all of the hard work that you've accomplished over your time in the program, and that you are able to enjoy at least a moment of reprieve with family and friends and colleagues, because what you have accomplished, not only today and throughout the semester, but over the program, is definitely worth celebrating. And it has been our pleasure to be on this journey alongside of you. So there's just two more things before we wrap up. So first one is kind of an announcement of sorts, which is at the very end, we'll ask all mentors, program faculty, and students to stay on the call so that we can take a photo. We may have to take multiple photos. I actually don't know how this works, taking photos in Zoom, but Jody will be here to assist us with that. And also every semester during the capstone experience, we have an opportunity to recognize a student, one of your colleagues and peers, who is nominated by program faculty as a recognition for their achievement and contributions, both inside and outside of the classroom, to the higher and post-secondary education program. And so this year we'll have an opportunity to do the same. And what I'm going to do is just share very briefly what one nominator said about this particular student before I announce who the student is. And again, we and Lindsay, Dr. Dipple, who is on the call, normally does this part and does it much more eloquently than I do as I fumble through this process. But it's really an opportunity for us to recognize a peer who has made significant contributions, who has also impressed upon faculty with their dedication, not simply in this course, but throughout the program, and is therefore worthy of the nomination. We usually will hand you a piece of paper or a certificate of an award framed. We will have to connect after this in order to pass that along to you. But one nominator said about this student, that this student is extremely engaged. They also demonstrate a high level of intellectual curiosity, and they also not only work well with students, but embrace collaboration, and that this student in particular deserves recognition for their outstanding contributions that they made to the learning environment within and across classrooms. And so without further ado, that student is Dakota Weber. So let's give Dakota a round of applause. And also, Dakota, congratulations. I know you didn't know this was happening. You and I can connect after to make sure that you get your certificate and award. But again, congratulations, and for an award that's well deserved. Okay. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So we're going to stop there. Again, thank you for everyone who came and visited with us. We'll ask for the students and program faculty and mentors to stay on so that we can get one picture, and we'll share that out with everyone as well.